everybody, it's Glenn Schofield from Sledgehammer Games, here to share insight about our new Zombies experience, which you could play soon, called The Darkest Shore. We of course decided to drop the Zombies trailer first, because there's less complaints about that than the multiplayer portion of our game. I know you're all wound up with hype about it, and that's how I do my core workouts at the gym, by the way. We hear some voiceover from this guy that claimed that he was from Germany, so we believed him and put him in the voice acting booth because Activision would rather spend money on marketing and supply drops. This shot here makes him look like he's got two heads, like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Much like my dad, who made me the tough dude that I am today, he stored his children away on this island like some sort of sick survivor game show. Of course, since we're near water, there's a greater possibility of fog, which is one of the things people loved about the map Transit, right? I mean, it makes things even more scary, not at all annoying, when a gaggle of undead just happens upon you. Be sure to retreat into the bunkers that look like the generic ones in multiplayer, because those airplanes might accidentally kill you. However, it's unclear if they're on your side or not because of those guns that are almost as big as mine trying to shoot them down. Will you have to power them as players against a German barrage, or are they things that the environment will do on its own to protect the zombies? Guess you'll have to find another trailer breakdown for more insight and speculation. Then we cut to the part that we made look like Doom with the statues and mechanical structures holding up a revenant-looking zombie. Now's the part where we show off some actual gameplay with some conspicuous lighting that makes it look more creepy than Harvey Weinstein's apartment, including a new buildable fan blade and ripsaw weapon, which is just a saw attached to a Lewis gun, since apparently a rotating blade is the only way to kill zombies other than bullets. I know we said we were going to give you guys one new war map for this DLC, but this is almost a second war map like Operation Neptune's Beach Landing, but for zombies. So much for original ideas in our DLC, out on January 30th, first on PS4, because Activision is spelt with a $sign. Thanks hashtag the Hammer. Well, his partner Michelle Condrey, after commenting that the studio will be more transparent, followed by several days of silence, has finally taken to Reddit and almost daily updates on what's coming soon for the game that isn't DLC, or watering down supply drops, so many bullshit items that you'll never get what you're actually looking for. Even though there was a perfect opportunity to actually make some meaningful fixes to the game with the January 2nd update to remove the Winter Siege event and all the stupid beepity bops in the headquarters, the 1.8 gigabyte update only added the hardcore kill confirm playlist. I guess they didn't have enough time after their holiday break to actually make the game suck less. In the first of 3 Reddit posts this week, he spoke about potential upcoming weapon tweaks, including something that will make as many snipers mad as the DSR-50 with a nerf to the KAR-98K ADS time, which is the only time people on Reddit are asking for a nerf from stationary to shooting, as slow sprint out time is a complaint on basically every other post. He's also kicking around ideas about nerfing the M1 Garand because, much like any weapon that gets lucky kills for situations it's not really designed for and people then get mad about it, it's gonna be nerfed for close quarters combat. Buffs will be handed to the FG-42 and STG-44 to compete with the BAR, but then we'll be talking about how bad the bar is in a month from now. The next post addressed game modes, which for anyone who isn't an idiot and understands player fragmentation, which is why in the last game, Infinity Ward in their infinite wisdom decided to combine Kill Confirm, the TDM variant, with PTFO, and Frontline, a TDM variant where camping lines of sight was the best way to win. Basically, 2 game modes with opposite ways of playing, only combined because not enough people are playing them each individually. Some of this is Sledgehammer Games' fault though, because now we're living in Dom 50 times, where it turns people off from playing that game mode, and most people go to others like Capture the Flag or Hardpoint, where you actually get 100 points per kill, among also getting OBJ points, and there's other people that are so lazy that they only pick the first option, which is TDM, in the myriad of menus to navigate in the game. He mentions Infected specifically as a timed mode for the game and throws cold water on the possibility of ground war coming soon. Claiming the 3 of 1,000 spawn nonsense, he said they couldn't claim the same about ground war, which duh, if you have maps that are mostly the size of his dick in the game, given there's a paltry 9 in the base game, and I can think of maybe maybe 4 that would actually work for Ground War: Ardennes Forest, Saint Marie du Mans, USS Texas, and of course the monolith that is Gustav Cannon. And they also considered making brand new maps for Ground War, which will give people even more things to complain about, as why there are only 9 in the base game, then 3 in War, and then maybe 3 others in Ground War. Translation, it's not on their radar to bring in 9v9 for people to hit feeds. If you want chaos, then go play Battlefield 1 where there's 64 players on maps. Finally, in the most recent post, he talks about one of the major issues plaguing the game since launch with the spectator bug. As I originally posted and postulated in some of my comments to my Rage videos, where I have clips featuring it, it's a problem with loading assets into the game because you're more likely than not to see players without guns in their fucking hands during this loading time. In my experience, it never happened on my PC with my game on my SSD. Meanwhile, the VCR needed to adjust its tracking nearly every match I played. This is the complete opposite of what Condry stated in the post, which I guess is a possibility if your PC is somehow worse than the Xbox One or PS4 and still able to play Call of Duty World War II, but I don't see how that's fucking possible because the PC port's optimization is that of a fucking toaster. There was a fix for the PC version which addressed this issue, which thankfully is going to be rolling out to consoles, even though he claims, quote, while the spectator issue generally doesn't impact console players, and when it does, the duration is very short. Which couldn't be further from the fucking truth. Does he even play his own goddamn game? Is his head so far up his ass that when he farts, people say bless you because they think it's a fucking sneeze? With so many posts on this topic, I don't understand how he could downplay this issue, but then again, it is difficult to make something as, quote, powerful as a next-gen console to actually load textures before a match starts, hence why we can't dynamically switch to the headquarters anymore after all of the problems it caused during launch week. Be careful what you wish for, as more communication sometimes leads to more frustration if the people in charge don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I've been the Schwantz27, out like Georgia University. Until next time.